besides talk about video games. All right.
Are you okay, Thalmor?
I'm tired. I didn't sleep good last night. I'm tired.
You
I'm
sound tired.
I'm low energy.
Do you need a nap?
Yeah, I probably could.
Oh.
I've been going to. I did fix my sleep. I'm going to bed at like 3 a.m. and waking up at like 9. So yeah, my sleep is pretty decent. And I'm getting to the point where I'm tired enough that I am heavily incentivized to lay down earlier. So yeah, I think my shit is finally fixed. So that's great. I got friends coming over tomorrow. One of them actually has to leave. Like he can only stay for a few hours, and he has to go do something. Then he can come back, but like he'll be gone most of the day. So, that sucks. But they're going to spend the night, and we're going to play. The past 2 weekends they've come over, we've all sat down and see. I got my old computer. There's Mommy Thalmor's old computer that I co-opted for about a year. And then there's my laptop, my gaming laptop, which is my current computer. And so there's 3 computers, there's 3 of us. And so what we do is I created 2 new Steam accounts, and we would play Dawn of War Soulstorm against each other, and that was really fun. And so I stepped it up by installing a mod for the game called Ultimate Apocalypse, which just increases the scale, adds new units and stuff. Really makes the game go from a 10 to like a 20. So I just finished today getting that mod to work on all 3 computers, and also to where multiplayer works between them. So I'm really excited for that. Good luck, church. Actually, that's the old itinerary, Zig. I added one new one. That's the full itinerary. I want to talk about the OnlyFans drama. Yes, Hillbilly, I have 3 computers. My first computer I got it in like 2015, and that was my main computer until the power supply died in like early 2019. Then I switched to my mom's gaming laptop. My mom's computer, which she stopped using like a year ago before I took it over. Then in October of 2019, I got my gaming laptop. So that's what's going on. She-Ho grinds your gears. Oh no. She-Ho's a cool dude. All right. So I'm gonna do the ping and post the itinerary. Michael Jordan, you need to play the theme because you haven't been here for several weeks. So this is your responsibility for tonight. Okay, Michael Jordan, don't do it just yet. And also, Soup, I presume you have recording tonight, correct? Yes, sir. Thank you, Soup. Michael Jordan, are you there? Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, he's here. He's typing. Okay, Michael Jordan, go ahead and play the theme.
Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio.
I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, I'm a sleepy boy. This is probably going to be the most low energy show I've done in a long time. But I am tired. I didn't sleep good. I woke up and I was just in a weird funk for like an hour. It was really weird. My mom was the same way too. She just I don't know. Maybe we're under demonic attack. I don't know. It's weird. But I am excited for the weekend because probably not COVID. Carbon monoxide. Okay. I guess I could. 5G. Oh man. All right. So a boxing fight. I don't like I only watch boxing fight when it's like celebrities fighting. Although I do like the UFC and I will watch the UFC. All right. So what do I want to talk about before I get into my topics? I don't think there's anything to go over. On the pre-show, I talked about my friends coming over. I got like a weekend of D&D coming up in a few weeks. That's going to keep me busy. Yeah, there's really nothing else to go over. So, internals. Killzbob is now a Thalmor, and he was promoted because, and I don't mean to put my own guy on blast here, but Michael Jordan hasn't really been here a lot the past several episodes. So I have brought on Killzbob to be like a fill-in, and so we'll see how it works. Killzbob has done really well. I think he's been very engaged with things, and he's been here pretty well. And so I'm very happy to have Killzbob on. Next thing is I meant to talk about this last week, but I failed because I was distracted. But there's actually a new channel, and you can find it in the chat category below. But there's a new room called Seethe and Cope. So it goes journal chat, real life chat, memes, and then Seethe and Cope. And what Seethe and Cope is it's an archive of politics and war players seething or coping about something. And it's really funny. And I encourage all of you to, if at any point you see any politics and war player seething or coping about anything, post it in that room and let's create a big archive of butthurt because I think that would be funny. But keep chat in there to a minimum. You can chat to post context to something. Do not post an entire forum thread. I wouldn't go that far. Well, only if it's like if the OP is really funny, but otherwise leave it alone. I've posted lots of individual like forum posts, but don't do a big whole thread. So yeah, anytime you see someone seething and coping in the game on Discord or on the forums, take a screenshot and paste it in there. And let's laugh at them. But like I said, keep chat in that room to a minimum. Only chat to like provide context to something. Otherwise, screenshots only. And probably no text logs. Screenshots I think would be best. Because that's easy to follow. So, once again, that is Seethe and Cope. I will do that, and Zig also posted a link. Now then, let's talk about what's going on with the game. And I'm going to open up by talking about the dumbest shit first. Winners and losers. So I don't know why I slapped my thigh. I just do. But I want to talk about losers and winners in the game community. I actually wouldn't consider Firewolf to be a loser. I'm talking about some very specific people. So, what does it mean to be a winner? I think there are some things you can look at. And I think one thing is the broad acceptance in the community, like popularity basically. I think that's a good example. So Adrian, winner, right? Phoenix, loser, right? So that's something I would look at. I would consider myself to be a winner. I hate saying that because I don't like to toot my own horn, but I think that's true. Just when I see. Um, who else would be a loser?
Epi?
Give me a good example. From my head. Who?
Arguably, Epi.
Maybe you could say that, yeah. But now Epi though is leader of Camelot, so clearly his own alliance likes him.
That's why it's
But
arguably.
yeah, but you can make the case that Epi is. And yes, Sleeping Ninja, by broad appeal, that's one thing. But popularity is one constraint. There's also happiness. So who's happy, right? Both not just with the game, but I also think in general. And I consider myself a winner in that way too. I'm generally a pretty content. I'm happy with stuff in the game, and I consider myself pretty content in real life. I'm doing pretty well for myself, right? Now this one's a bit harder. It's kind of hard to tell who is actually salty and who isn't. And people's emotions are fluid. But some people I think are constantly not happy. And to an extent I think they choose to be that way, but that's really going far out. So I digress. So over the past several days, there's been a couple of threads that's been made, and there's been a lot of. Thankfully, there's no super big cancer, which is really great. But there has been some lots of out of character discussions about things. So, for example, Alex made a thread talking about rule changes and stuff. I don't think there's anything to really go over. Although I will say that I am fairly pleased with the things Alex has said, and a lot of my concerns have been laid to rest for now, unless something else happens. Although Greybird should still be unbanned. But there's also another thread that went up that Brythen Lexi made, and her thread talks about it's like a theory of sorts, and she explains why there is no such thing as an in character and out of character separation. And the response to this thread has been everyone is universally in disagreement. I made a post in which I voiced disagreement, although I wasn't people are disagreeing with her, but they're not being hostile to her. I think there's a lot of nuanced takes with it. But something really funny happened, which is Babai made a post, and and Cosmo responded to his post by saying Babai was a KKK member and that he associates with KKK members, which are KT, which I thought was funny. So in my post, I use that as an example of out of character attack to go with the rest of my post. And then Cosmo replied to me, but his reply made no sense. And then there were two posts by Akiro, which was you guys. Okay, so you guys know that I like to talk about schizo posts, but Akiro's post really was a schizo post. She was trying to use political actions of alliances as ways to affiliate them with ideologies. she claimed that KT was fascist because fascism is the third way, and KT has always tried to stay out of bipolar politics. Like we always try to like do our own thing, and like it was actually really crazy. It was really insane. I think the syndic like I don't know. I don't even want to get into it, but it was fucking wild. And the funny thing is that Akiro's post and Bryden's Lexi was both met with just a torrent of downvotes. People were really disapproving of what they were saying. And Akiro in particular caught some heat, some from Adam and some from Adrian, which I thought was funny. Um, and then I made my own post in the thread, and it got some attention. But like, it's really funny because Cosmo and Akiro both like really hate us. Like, and it's not just the way that like partisan hates Rose, right? Uh the kind of hatred that Akiro and Cosmo have for not even just KT, but like even just me personally is like really dramatic. Like I'm not unconvinced that they would actually like try to harm me in some way if they could. Like I think I think they have they have problems. I really do think that. Cosmo in particular, like if you go back through his forum history for the past 4 years, 90% of his posts is him calling KT Nazis. This is something that he has been harping on about almost exclusively. He almost never posts on the forums, and the few times he does, it's just him calling KT Nazis. And it's been this way for years. It's been this way for years. And like I, I don't care about there's there's not a single issue that I care about enough to where I would be that way, you know? And so that's really funny. um but the response to both Akiro and Cosmo is negative. No one cares about them. And you know, that's not the case. Like, okay, let's take Akiro for example. Like she got chased out of Children of the Light, and the best she could do with her retirement alliance was get an O level treaty with a second tier alliance. Like that was the best she could do. And like Cosmo is in an inactive alliance world task force, which isn't going anywhere either. Like no one cares about them, you know. Whereas I think I do pretty well for myself. I do this show. I'm active in Ron. You know, I think I do a good job being funny most of the time. Um, and I hate to say this because I don't like sucking my own dick. I really don't. It feels weird. Typically, from my experience, if you have to say that you're something, you're usually not it. But I think I'm exercising decent judgment here. And so, um, and I do pretty well for myself. Like I said, I think I'm pretty. Maybe I'm not happy, but my base emotion is a mild contentment, and I don't think I'm very neurotic. I don't experience negative emotion very much. Whereas if I look at Akiro and Cosmo, it seems like they're the opposite. They always seem to be really angry about something, and like I don't think that's limited to just like in character. Like I think that's probably reflective of how they are as people in real life. Um, so that's that. Um, Winners and losers. With all the information I just given you, who do you guys think the winners are, and who do you think the losers are? And don't answer that in chat. That's a rhetorical question. Just meditate on it in your mind. All right. So that's that. Let me skim over chat. I had my eyes closed for most of that, so I could concentrate on what I was trying to say. So let me see if there's anything in chat I need to go over. I don't think there isn't. Okay. And I am very surprised, said that like there are more than one people who are like want the Catholic confessional state. Like I knew it was you at least, but for it to be more than one, it's like whoa. But that is pretty base, to be honest. All right, I sucked my thigh again. That's how you know it's time to switch topics. When I do that. Speaking of winners and losers, let's talk about how Epi has won really hard by seizing the means of control in Camelot. Um, there was an interview that I think Killzbob did with George about what the fuck happened in Camelot, and I'll be honest, I didn't read it. I should have. I really should have, and I didn't. But okay, Rainbow. Can you like summarize what it was about? Because this is how I see it. Epi was asked to resign because he kept being a fuck up, right? Okay, well that's what happened to me and KT, so I understand. So Epi resigns, then he VMs for a year, then he comes out of VM, splinters off with the fifth of Camelot, goes back into Camelot, and now he's leader and George is leaving. Like, what the hell? What the fuck? Do we need to put a hold on everything in Camelot until we figure out what the hell is going on? But, yeah. Author is retiring supposedly, and there's a power vacuum. I'm getting reports once I came out that Epi didn't coup the AA. It kind of looks like a coup from the as someone who is ignorant and knows nothing about what's happening. I have presumed that Epi like forcefully took power. That is the conclusion I'm walking away from. Because I don't know how you go from I'm resigning and VMing to here's my new alliance to I'm just leader now. So that's that there. And the Fox just DM'd me and said that they actually didn't even ask Epi to resign. So I don't know what happened. LOL, no one wanted it, but they didn't want Epi, no coup. So like no one wanted to be leader except Epi, and so they were like, okay, well, you're better than nothing, right? Is that what happened? Which makes sense. Competent leadership is hard in this game. It really is. And like to want to be in power and also to be effective at it, like that is difficult. About every alliance in the game, if you remove 3 people from the right 3 people, you could just collapse every alliance in the game. Really. Some people, I agree. Leading an alliance is rough, but some people, I mean, that's what they like to do. All right, I think that's it about Camelot. I don't have anything else to really say. I want to talk about KT, the end of the Crusade, and then I'll get into the war with Hollywood. Let's see. We hit the company in Eclipse last Friday. It was I did my show an hour after we did the Blitz, and so I can reflect on it a little bit. I've never had that much military before. Having full ground at City 32, like the last time I had full ground was like in the mid-20s. So having 500,000 soldiers and like 40,000 tanks, destroying 500 Emperor with each ground battle and looting $6 million each ground battle, that was really weird. That was different from what I was used to. Eclipse and the company fought okay. They were kind of slow to get military. They were waiting to do a double buy, but I think they could have been more reactive, and they were also kind of inactive. And so I was able to beige two of my targets with missiles, and I also helped Hillbilly beige a third guy with ships. I didn't beige him myself though, but my navals enabled Hillbilly to beige him. Now, I gloated about it in KT's private chat, but the reality is they probably let us. Like a third of the company got beige, like 4 people, but like they probably let us do that. They probably wanted us to beige them so that they would have less to lose as they hit Hollywood, which would make sense. Um, Speaking of last week, Thalmor, it'd be nice if you guys had Chocolate Castle fucked from the saying as Blitz does how much I could have done. What are you talking about exactly? That we had Chocolate Castle fucked? Gosh, I see. So you guys can probably hear it in my voice. I'm really fatigued and tired. I don't think I'm sick. I just don't think I rested well last night. I'm just not high energy right now like I usually am. Um, and yes, I am talking. Okay, I want to ask sleep. I asked Sleepy Ninja what he meant. Also, you guys can hear me, right? I just want to make sure
Nope.
because Jaden's asking my. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah, okay, now I remember. Now that I'm thinking, yeah, when we hit the Legion in Chocolate Castle, like we scalped you guys. There wasn't really much of a fight that either alliance could do with the Blitz. Yeah, got you sleeping. Um, yeah, that is right. Which I don't know if I dunked on you guys that hard. I think I dunked more on your allies because they waited until we expanded the war before they even came in. But anyways, it really became a clusterfuck though the next turn after because that's when everyone started coming. The counters trickled in, but you had a whole hodgepodge. You had Eclipse launch counters, you had the Syndicate launch counters, the White Rose came in. Blanky Gang slotted me and a couple others because like I said earlier, they just absolutely hate like this is going to sound really vulgar, but like to these people, the KT flag like might as well be like a decapitated head. Like they have such a visceral reaction to us that like just posting our flag probably like actually raises their blood pressure in real life. So they slaughtered us. Who else? I think that was it. The Order didn't do anything. The Lost Empire didn't do anything. Oh, and Oblivion. Oblivion hit us. Now, last week on the show, I was salty about Oblivion hitting us, but that was kind of dumb because I later realized that Oblivion is part of Hollywood. And so Oblivion hit us because Chocolate Castle was covered by that Hollywood umbrella, and that made sense. It's like, oh, okay, that's why they would counter us. So I digress from what I was complaining about earlier. Trying to think. I think that's kind of about it. Yeah, it was fun Beijing. Oh, I got a funny story about one of my company targets. I think it was Bollocks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So Bollocks was slow to attack me, most likely because he wanted to be beiged. And what happened is the war was close to ending. We were both low on resistance. And like the way the war panned out, I brought him down to exactly 18 resistance. And I would get 8 maps before he would get 9, and 9 was the minimum he needed to beige me. And he could beige me because I was zeroed out, and he very much wasn't. So I had this 2-hour window to launch a missile at him. And of course, he has Iron Dome because he is like 7 years old and has like 40 cities, right? So I have a 50-50 shot of beiging him. And what I did was this is funny. Well, it's not funny. I prayed. I bowed my head. I brought my hands together, and I said, "Lord, please let this missile hit so I can beige Bollocks. Please." And so then I selected launch missile from the wars tab. I selected the city. I pressed the button, and the missile hit, and he got beige. So that was incredible. And I talked about it here in Katie's private chat, but it was really funny. So Balls got beiged. No, I didn't cuss in the prayer, Hillbilly. Don't worry. I didn't cuss in the prayer. I don't cuss when I pray. I cuss every other time, but not when I pray. And I also beiged a second guy with a missile. And that guy had like 3,500 info each city, so he got really hurt. And these were attrition wars too. So ultimately, I walked away. Oh, and it's over. The Crusade's over. We're going back to raiding. I think all the wars with everyone who countered us, I think those are ended now. So Crusade is over. We're going back to raiding. But I walked away from the Crusade with like 2.4 billion net damage. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. That was fun. I agree, Jack. I say everything except GD, and I don't say God very lightly. But I say everything else. I cuss like a sailor, actually, which all of you know. Okay. Thigh slap. Next topic is it's over for okay. Okay, can I go on a rant? Can I go?
Do it.
It's over for Hollywood. The sign is coming down. It's over. Chocolate Castle already melted, okay? The Federation, more like the effing dead. Okay, they didn't even last a day. They made it to 19 hours and they tapped out. They tapped the map. They were done. Who else? Black Knight. Well, the Black Knights were already fucked, right? Because I think ARG was able to just completely felt them. So Black Knight's not much there. Grumpy. Oh, Grumpy. Guys,
Grumpy.
The retirement home is now a funeral home. It's over. Guardian, more like do not resuscitate. You know, it's over for all of Hollywood. It's done. It's over. Cindy Sphere came crashing down like a tsunami on them, right? And then you got Rose striking up just like a volcano. Like it's over for Hollywood. There, how was that? Was that good? Like I said, I'm low energy tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm tired. I think I'm tired. Maybe I am getting a little sick. Maybe I finally caught COVID. Maybe, but like, wait a minute. No, what? Maybe, probably not, because nothing else is wrong with me.
Check your temp.
Well, I don't know. I did a little cough. Hold on. You know what? I think I will check my temp. Yeah. I do have a little cough. I didn't sleep well. But see, it could also just be a sinus infection. So, yeah. I'm going to go next door to Mommy Thalmor and be like, Mom, can you check my temperature? And she's going to be like, yes, Thalmor, I'll check your temperature, sweetie. And that's going to be great. But it can wait. I got to finish the show because that's what we're all here for. I got to, before Mommy Thalmor can tend to her child, I have to tend to my beloved, which is all of you, all 35 of you. And so, how is the war even going? I think it's about even, or maybe Rose and Cindy Sphere are ahead. I don't think it's complete rolling because, like, I check on Rose members and Syndicate members, and some of them are pretty badly beat up. So I think Hollywood's doing a pretty good. I think they're doing pretty good considering the circumstances. I'm talking about militarily hillbilly. Like, who still has and lots of beige for Hollywood members, which is very surprising. Hollywood's losing badly. Okay, thank you. Because yesterday or the day before, the stats were like about even. So I was like, what the fuck's happening? But gotcha. And I haven't. You guys know I don't really pay that much attention to this game as much as I should. So I don't really know what's happening. But I did see that the stats were about even the other day. So I was like, well, what the fuck? Why is there so much beige though? Like I'm looking for raid targets in Hollywood and they're all beige. Like where's the beige discipline? They're just going to rebuild. They're just going to rebuild and then fuck you guys up. Like it's not going to go well. They know what they're doing. Like I have a degree of confidence in Hollywood collectively, especially TKR. So I can't find raid targets either, Mr. Pineapple. So what I did in Guns N' Roses was that I piggybacked off of TKR's war effort, and I stole billions from Rose, right? And I can't do that in this war. Everyone is either beige or slotted. Like it's a fuck. Rebuild equals more damage. I don't like that name, by the way. Rosewater? Rosewater, like, that sounds like the name of some kind of natural homeopathic that, like, tastes bad. I don't like Rosewater. So, there's been talks about CBs. I'm stupid, but I'm not really that convinced about any CBs, honestly. I think Rose hit for revenge out of Guns N' Roses. And I think Cindy Sphere hit Hollywood because they were like the most threatening group. And I predicted this. If you go back like a month or two or three, I predicted this. The next war would be between Cindy Sphere and Hollywood. And I was right. I got receipts. I am getting to a point where I am more right than wrong with my prediction. So that's cool. So yeah, I think this war is basically about it's Nightfall 2 is what this is. TKR slung their dick around a little bit too hard because they immediately formed another big ass block and then they hit Rose because it was funny. And now they're getting dick slapped down by Cindy Sphere and Rose Sphere. And they're crying a lot. Probably less now. But if you look at the Cope and Seeds channel, like there's a lot of stuff in there from like Hollywood people, but especially TKR people. And see, when the war started on Tuesday, right? I took a nap at like 7, and I woke up at 8:15 to Killzbob yelling at me in my DMs that the game was broken and that a big blitz happened. And I was so excited when I found out it was TKR because I knew it was going to be funny. Because TKR, historically, they don't handle losing well. Whenever TKR is losing, like, really bad, they get really upset. And it's really funny. In case you guys couldn't tell, like, player meltdowns is like heroin to me. That's why I created the Trap House of Cope and Seeds, because that is funny. And so when I found out it was TKR getting hit, that's why whenever Royal Orbis News did their show Tuesday, that's why I was so high energy when I came on and spoke, because I knew I was in for a good time, and I was completely right. So that's what's going on. And I don't know, maybe I am sick, guys, because like I can now tell a difference in my voice. Maybe I am getting sick. I should go tell Mommy Thalmor that I might be under the weather. Fuck, maybe my friend shouldn't come over tomorrow. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go see if I can smell. I'll be right back. I'll go get some smelly stuff. Okay, I was able to smell of a cupcake. So yeah, I can still smell. I ate a Subway sandwich before the pre-show. So I can still smell and I can still taste. So I'm doing okay. Yeah, like I couldn't tell a difference in my voice at first, but I've been talking like a lot, like, because this is my show. So yeah, so this war that we're going through is Nightfall 2. Insert name here made a thread, and he was really salty, and he was talking about how many Spears is dead. Mini Spears is done for because of you pussies. And it's like, come on, bro. You know, like, you're getting clapped now, but like, let's see what happens post-war. Okay, let's see what happens post-war. People's feelings have a habit of resetting after a global. So let's see what things look like when the global is done. Maybe allergies. You know, I am prone to sinus infections, like, regularly. So that could be what it is, or allergies. Yeah, I'm not really worried. I just need, you know what? I do have some Campbell's soup. I'll eat some of that before I go to bed. But yeah, that's where things are. Hollywood's probably going to lose the war, but I think they're going to have a pretty good showing. I think they're going to have a very effective guerrilla campaign against Sydney Sphere and Rose Sphere. And I think that is about it. Any other politics and war oh, hold on. All right. Any other politics and war topics I should go over before I go on to the real life segment? What happened with Stratagem Marine Corps? What happened with them? I know nothing. They broke up. Well, rip them. Rip Mike Bro. Shaking your cunt, Zig? What? Oh, okay. Woo-wee! I didn't know what you were talking about there, but I was really freaking out.
I was reading SMC. I was reading SMC and I was thinking like SMH, but with a different C word. It's like, what are you talking about, Isaiah? That's not how that works. Delta. All right, Jack, you're wrong. Delta will not be breaking up. My boy Kev will make sure Delta never breaks up because they are the Johnsons. That's all.
You know, SMC, they had a government change thread, and Yang shat on them, and for some reason he got like 35 downvotes over it for some reason. That was weird. It's interesting how like the community goes from like hating macros, like I'm not talking like I'm talking over the course of the game's history. Like people will love macros and then they'll hate macros and then they'll love like it's very strange how that works.
I started that.
Johnson's
I started that, and I can say that when I read that, I don't care how you feel about micros. Yang was just being mean to the person, and I didn't like that. I don't remember what he said, but it seemed just kind of mean to me.
And Yang said something else in another. Yang's been going really hard lately. I don't know if it's because like he's a teenage boy and he's going through a phase of being really aggressive. Because when I was about Yang's age, there was about a 1-year period in which I got really easily irritable and kind of turned into an asshole and really aggressive for no reason. So maybe that's what's going on with him. Maybe our young boy is just finally turning into a young man. I don't know. I think it was more the unwarranted toxicity for Garcia leaving the game to spend time with his kids. Yeah, makes sense. I think that's it. I'm thinking really hard. If there's anything else I want to go over, no, I think it's about it. I think I'll talk about some real life stuff.
I think.
And then
just a sec. I just decided to look back at it because I was curious, and it looks like that post actually got deleted. So
Yang's?
Yeah, it's not there anymore, but the quotes are all still there.
Huh.
Go figure.
Well, that's weird.
That was the post, which I don't know.
Well, is that really a rule-breaking post, though? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it is. Whatever.
Well, I mean, Yang could have deleted it. Who knows?
Hold on. Can you delete forum posts? I've never deleted a forum post before. I'm not even sure how I would. Yeah, I don't think you can. So whatever. No, swearing is okay, Hugo. You can't say Nazi, you can't say racial slurs, and you can't say fuck for whatever reason. But shit is fine. And I think you can tell people to shut up. Whatever, doesn't matter. Can't say cracker. Oh man. All right. Oh, hold on. Before I get into cancer politics, let me share something really funny that's been going around the internet lately. Yeah, and this is a great segue into Afghanistan. So, there's this Reddit post, and I don't know what to make of it. But this Reddit post says, PSA, be careful when bewitching the Taliban. Greetings, fellow practitioners of magic. As you're all aware, Afghanistan is in a very dire situation, and many of us are preparing rituals and performing incantations to help elevate the human suffering that's occurring there. The Taliban, as horrible as they have shown themselves to be, are very spiritually aware, and they routinely take steps to dispel, ward off, and weaken magic. They have incantations and rituals of their own, which can at the very least neutralize us, or at worst can cause damage to our spiritual selves, perhaps some kind of hex blowback. So this is really funny to me, and I guess these Tumblr white girl quote unquote witches, like their power fails to the might of Allah, I guess. So that's interesting. But it doesn't end there, because there's a second post, and the second post is even crazier, and this is it. The second post reads, "Do not face Allah alone when astral projecting. Today, while astral projecting, I summoned Allah to try to weaken him so our hexing spells would work better. He is so fucking powerful. I'm not at a power level to do this at home. I barely escaped with my life, and I'm spiritually injured to a great amount, but I think I'll make it. I can't imagine what he will do to a new, unsuspecting witch. I'm scared that I will have to face him again soon if I ever want to continue astral projecting. I'm currently burning healing incense and drawing spiritual energy from my crystals to try and heal as quickly as possible. Please be safe, everyone. Allah is much stronger than I first imagined, and we will have to do this together if we want to slay a god. I can't keep a straight face reading that out loud again. It's fucking some Dragon Ball C's shit, like mentioning power levels and healing crystals and shit. And I think the first post is real. I think the first post about hexing and bewitching the tower, I think that one is real. And I think that one inspired the second one about the astral projecting. And it's like a whole new subreddit has sprung up parroting this bullshit. And I'm kind of superstitious. Like, there probably are people who can practice like black magic, really. And like, I've heard stories I've read them online of servicemen in the Middle East, particularly Afghanistan, and how they would see some crazy shit, like using night vision goggles and stuff, and how like villages would summon the Islamic equivalent of demons to like patrol villages and stuff. And I like to think that something like Islam, with over 1 billion adherents, that like maybe the combined belief of all 1,000 souls is enough to like have some kind of effect, Those Middle Eastern ghost hunting videos are the fucking best. You have the virgin Western ghost hunters who are like, oh no, oh, a cold spot, oh no, oh, that chair moved, oh no. Meanwhile, the fucking Middle Eastern ghost hunters are like kicking down doors and like, oh my gosh, they're fucking base as hell. But anyways, when these white girl Tumblr witchy poos are trying to hex like the Taliban, and they end up getting physically ill afterwards, like there's probably something to that. And then there's the deeper theological like conundrum of like, is the Islamic God like the same as the Christian God? And my immediate answer is no, because the differentiator of Christianity is, of course, Christ. The virgin birth of Christ, his ministry, his death, his resurrection, and his ascension. But Islam is still part of the Abrahamic family. So, what's the connection then? And certainly as a Christian, I believe in God, and there are certainly many parallels between Christianity and Islam, even though Islam, I think, fundamentally has it wrong. But even Islam still like has like respect and veneration for Christ and Mary. So it's like, something there. And I don't know, sometimes whenever I listen to like Islamic music, like nasheeds, like, well, maybe not nasheeds, but like some of their music and stuff, like I get the same kind of feeling that I get when I listen to like the worship music at my church. So I don't know. I think there's something there. Islam has a Unitarian version of God. Christianity has a Trinitarian view. This is the biggest difference in my opinion. Yeah. I used to really be like Islamic phobic. Like I used to really hate Islam. I used to really think it was just the worst thing ever. But now I have a lot, like as the years have went on and I've researched more, I've developed much more of a respect for that faith. Even though there are plenty of crazy savages who would cut off my head if they could. So but the religion itself, I think, I think it's decent. If I couldn't be a Christian, I would be a Muslim for sure. All right. Hold on. Did I talk about Afghanistan last Friday? I don't remember. Maybe I don't think I did, but I'm not fully sure. Afghanistan is fucked. Okay, first off, if you're in Afghanistan, you should leave. I know this is advice that applies to many of you, but you should immediately leave Afghanistan. Like, I know you're listening to the show from Kabul or whatever, but like, it's time to leave. It's time to get out. Just walk across the border into Pakistan. It's time to go. I don't know what else to say besides it's fucked. Yeah, people flying out of planes. That is pretty rough. That is pretty rough. Apparently the Taliban, like, they're not being too violent, apparently. There's thousands of people at the Kabul airport wanting to leave, and the soldiers there, the US soldiers there. Okay, I know one thing. What the fuck? Like, the Afghan National Army was like fucking completely useless. Like they had a fighting strength of what, 180,000 soldiers, 200,000 soldiers. Like there's an army there, and they just completely melted away. Like, what the heck? That's weird. I don't know what the realities of that is. I was fucking watching Vice documentaries in like 2013, and they were talking about how like the Afghan army is ready for when the US leaves. Like, the Afghan army is at a point where they can defend the country. I guess that wasn't fucking true. Now apparently what is going on is I think some dude who is actually in the government, he is now the acting president of Afghanistan, and he took over August 17th, and like there's one region that is still not under Taliban control, and I think this new Afghan president is trying to mobilize an army to fight the Taliban out of this province that hasn't fallen. I can't think of the name, but if you Google what I'm talking about, you'll find something. Oh yeah, if you go to go to the Wikipedia article for this, and like the whole country is black to represent. Afghanistan is blacked. But no, like the whole like on that's I guess the fucking tactical map. I don't know. The whole country is black to represent Taliban control. Like, it's all fucked. And yeah, 20 years for nothing. It's just a mess, you know? I was a little kid when we invaded Afghanistan. I was born in 98. So, like, when did we invade? Was it 2002? Like, I was a little kid, and now I'm a fully grown man. I dropped out of college, but I'm old enough to have graduated from college, and it's like, yeah, now it's just over. Longest war in American history. Thousands of dead American soldiers, many thousands more dead Afghanis, trillions of dollars, just all pissed away, you know. And the only people who win are like the weapon manufacturers. The weapon manufacturers win. I think it's a bit unfair that Biden is getting all the heat for it too. Like, I'm not going to play, you know, geriatric diaper defense force, but like, we need, like, Biden said, he gave a speech Monday, and he said, look, you know, we gave them weapons and training, but there's no reason that American troops should die, you know, helping out a people who aren't even willing to fight themselves, you know. And that was actually really based, and it made sense. It was time to go out. Maybe the withdrawal could have been better, but it's probably going to be a mess no matter what. And yeah, there you go. And good on Trump for laying the groundwork to get us out of Afghanistan. You know, Trump laid the groundwork and Biden executed on it, and I think that's great. So, the Afghan army was pretty. The Zed, I think the ceasefire's been in effect since like 2018. Like the ceasefire's been going on for quite some time. By the way, this episode of Thalmor Radio is dedicated to the brave freedom fighters of the Mujahideen. I definitely pronounced that right.
Mujahideen?
There you go. You got it. See, guys, Zig can actually pronounce things. I can't. And yeah, that's what the CIA gave weapons to the Mujahideen to fight the Soviets.
Mujahideen.
They used, and they used those weapons against us years later. So that's funny. Okay, final topic before final call. Speaking of Afghanistan being in trouble, so like the women in Afghanistan are in trouble because they're going to get Sharia law implemented, but the women in the West are also fucked because they can't be whores on OnlyFans much longer. So OnlyFans is banning porn. Now, I thought this meant that like no more titties on OnlyFans, but it's actually wrong. They're just banning porn. So like if you're a 20-year-old shoddy and you're going to pay your bills by posting your pussy on OnlyFans for $12 a month, you can still do that. But if you want your boyfriend to fuck you and post those videos on OnlyFans, you can't do that. And so like the list of banned content on OnlyFans ranges from porn, extreme BDSM, extreme fisting, and like consent, non-consent stuff, which is a lot of words. And first off, what's the difference between fisting and extreme fisting? Zed, you are our resident scholar. I expect an answer from you. So everyone on Twitter is mad that OnlyFans is going to prohibit sexual content. Which the reason given, like, it's not just like OnlyFans is not doing this because they're coming to Christ, right? OnlyFans is doing this because the banks are applying pressure on them. It's the payment processors. That's the problem. And the reason why the payment processors and the banks are applying this pressure is because under the Patriot Act, child sex trafficking is like under the same umbrella as like terrorism, right? And under the Patriot Act, banks are obligated to like they're essentially deputized to crack down on anything like that, because the law is that if the banks fail to stop money from going to like terrorists or sex traffickers, the banks themselves become civilly and criminally liable. So that's why the payment processors and the banks are applying all this pressure to OnlyFans. It's because just an extension of the liability. So that's what's going on with that. The Muslim Alliance pieced out. Well, that's cool. So I said it earlier in the show, the Lost Empire, no, the Federation. The Federation pieced out after 19 hours, and I dunked on them hard, But then I had people knock me in the head and bring sense to me, and I was actually wrong. It looks shitty to piece out after 19 hours, but the reality is that the Federation, like they've been fighting for months already. Like they had Camelot, you had the last ride, like, and also the Federation is pretty separated from TKR and GG. Like this is not their fight. So I think them piecing out so early makes sense to me. Oh, and TLE pieced out as well. Gotcha. So, and it's the same thing with UU. You know, this is not really UU's fight. This is against GG and TKR. So that's what that's really about. There's peace, and I think that is about it with that. All right. I talked about the wars. I talked about winners and losers. I talked about Afghanistan and OnlyFans whores. Is there anything else I need to go over? Any last topics? Politics and war, real life. Anything else? I think that's about it. Buying, banned, importing ammo from Russia, which is where most cheap comm block ammo come from. Well, that's rough. You know, I actually got a I'm thinking, should I share this? Yeah, I will. My family actually owns an AK-103, and those got banned from being imported around the time that Russia seized like the Ukraine. So like you can't get an AK-103 from outside the US. Like you can only trade them from inside the US. So that's cool. Sucks that the 7.62 is hard to import now, I guess. I should shoot guns more. I don't shoot guns. As someone who is probably under federal surveillance, I don't shoot guns as much as I probably should. I think that's it. One more time, just because I do like doing this show, and I like flapping my gums. Any last topics I should go over before I close out the show? It can be something dumb. It can just be a question to me. You bought 319. Good job, Kills. What happened with the CIA? I don't know. My shit is not green, Hugo. My sometimes my shit is green. I think that's some kind of bile thing. My shit has been runny today though. Like it's not diarrhea, but it's not fully solid either. It's been like a runny solid. But again, if I have a sinus infection, like that's part of the course though. That's normal. It's my body trying to get all this shit out of my system, literally, I guess, the mucus and stuff. So that's part of the course. That is to be expected. You're welcome, listener. What does clapping cheeks mean? Zig.
Zig. Do you seriously not know what that means? I'm willing to explain what this means, but I have to. No, you have. Tell me and say it in voice chat. Tell me in voice chat you don't know what it means. Zig.
Okay. So clapping cheeks, it's a sex thing.
Well, thank you all for coming to Thalmor Radio.
Ah! I can't believe. How can you mute me? That's crazy. You shouldn't be able to. I'm the server owner. That's wild. But all right. Yep, I talked about runny shit. I talked about the sex. Like it's been a heck of a show. But that's it, I think, for tonight. I am proud of myself. This show has been over an hour long. That is pretty cool. I like doing hour-long shows. Really nice, really. I'm able to keep going. That is every radio mod can meet each other, even at many perms. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I guess if the mods want to overthrow me, they can now. So that's nice.
I've muted you before because so that something weird noise could go away. That's why I muted you before.
Gotcha.
That's why I have the power. For when you're incapacitated and we're hearing your screams and there's an attacker that is coming from the Fed, I can mute you.
You're going to mute me when I
we don't want
raided.
the innocent children to hear that. We have to close Isaiah's ears. Oh, I can actually just server deafen him. That's much easier. I should have just done that.
I'll end it on one more politics note. I think they're going to try to get rid of a lot of pressure on him to resign, both in the media and from like the White House and the government. Or they might just outright 25th Amendment him. He gave the speech Monday, and then like as soon as he's done the speech, he like immediately fucked off and took no questions. And apparently he gave another speech today, but it was a really shit one. And like he took some questions, but once they got too hot, he just ran away. So I don't think Biden's finishing out this term. I don't think he'll die, but I don't think he's going to be running for re-election in 2024. How do you guys think a Harris presidency will go over? I think it's going to go really bad because no one likes her. Like, I'm not talking like, oh, Harris is a shit dim. What I mean is, like, no one likes Harris. I don't think anyone's going to take her seriously. And, like, does anybody like Kamala Harris? Is there anybody out there who wakes up, sees a picture of Kamala Harris, and is like, yes, I'm so happy that the future of the United States is entrusted with this woman? Does anybody do that? Like, I can understand people doing that for Joe Biden, because Joe Biden has been in government forever. Joe Biden was the vice president under Obama, right? And Obama is just the best ever, right? So, like, I can understand people looking up to Joe Biden. But, like, is anybody looking up to Kamala Harris? Yes, I know the Lost Empire piece, and I just don't care. Good job, Lost Empire. Exactly, Zed. That's how you know, she knows how to work those hands. Both filing paperwork and doing other things. So that's good. That's one good thing we can say about Kamala Harris. She polled at 2% at best during the Democratic primary. Like, and she's unlikable. She's very unlikable. I don't like I have a lot of reasons for not liking her anyways, but like she's like Hillary Clinton. She's like she tries to be a person, but she isn't. Like she doesn't have the same divine spark of life that God has given all of us that like the rest of us does. But yeah, there you go. And I think DeSantis could probably kill Harris like in an election because no one likes Harris. Nobody is going to rally behind Harris seriously. That is true, Hugo. All politicians are probably going to hell. That is true. They're all pretty evil, probably. Except Ron Paul. Ron Paul is fine. Ron Paul will go to heaven. I shouldn't say that. That's actually a sin to say stuff like that. I take that back. Only God can judge the souls of everyone.
But we were given the keys to the
Thalmor,
kingdom.
what do you... We are, we are, Zig, but I can't say that people will go to hell without they're going to heaven. Only God can judge people.
Forgive people and they will be forgiven.
Exactly.
That's a random...
I like DeSantis. DeSantis has resisted all of the COVID bullshit, so I like him. Who's most holy here? It's probably a tie between Zig and Zed, if I had to guess. I think, and then probably the next most religious would be me. But honestly, I put myself on blast regularly. I'll do so again. Like, I've been out of church since early 2020, and I do this where I go through periods where I'll be in church for like a year, and then I'll be out for a year, and then back in for a year, and like I don't know what it is, but like I can really feel like like how do I want to like. I feel like I've degraded as a person by being out of church for so long. I've almost been out of church for over a year and a half now, and it just hasn't been good for me. Like I'm not the same person that I was, and it's actually not good. It's actually bad. I need to go back. I need to stay in and go like at least once a week. I can't always go back, Zig. That is right. But like it'll be Wednesday, and I'll be like, well, I have to get on my nice clothes, and I have to drive there, and I have to sit there for an hour and a half, and then I have to drive back. And it's going to be this whole big 2-3 hour thing. And like I make excuses for myself as to why I shouldn't go. And I mean that's just my flesh talking. I should just ignore it. I should just power through it. I always have a good time. I always have a good time when I go to church. There is very rarely a time in which I go to church and I walk out saying, wow, I wish I stayed home. That almost never happens. I think it's just my spirit is just nourished by it, and that's why I always have a good time. Like it's not like a lot of people, they talk about going to church and like, oh, I hate sitting there, and it's so like I don't feel that way at all. Like during the sermon, I get a bit bored and I daydream. But like I said, whenever I leave, I always feel good. I always feel happy. It's always a good time. There's no reason for why I should stay away. At least last year, I had the excuse of COVID, but like between vaccinations and herd immunity, like that's not really an excuse anymore. So I should just go back. Honestly, Thalmor, for the last year and a half, if your discipline has waned and you feel bad, look, there are mitigating circumstances with COVID. Watching something online will help, and some kind of daily personal devotion. You do something as simple as the Jesuit X-Men at night, nothing else. Well, one thing I'm very proud of is that for several years now, when did I start it? I think I started it in 2016. Before I lay down to go to sleep, I always kneel at the foot of my bed and I pray. And I have done a great job keeping that up, even though I've been on church for a while now. I still do that prayer before I go to bed. No matter how I feel, no matter how tired I am, I always sit down and I always do that prayer for like 3 minutes. And that is really good. I'm very proud of that. And yeah, there was mitigating circumstances last year, but that was last year and this is this year. And I don't think COVID is the same excuse anymore. I think I just need to go back. Probably not Sunday because I have company, but like Wednesday, I just need to make myself go Wednesday. Outdoor mass sounds like it'd be fun. Cause like you have all of the joys of mass, but like you're with the fresh air of being outside, and I think that would be nice. Dang it, am I less holy than Thalmor? Isaac, I would say you're more holy than me. I think we were tied at some point, but now I think I have degraded, whereas I think you've remained the same. So I think you're more holy than I am now. And between you and Zed, I can't pick one. I say you two are about even. But that's wow, you guys have all 26 of you have really sat there and listened to me talk about church for 10 minutes. You guys are really just the best. I love you guys. I would do this show even if there were only like 3 of you, just because I enjoy talking and flopping my gums. But the fact that you guys will sit here and listen to me really means a lot. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Yes, I agree that they're not a competition, but yeah. Actually, I don't have anything to say. Let's see. Let's see. My friend's dad is DMing a D&D game for like a whole weekend in a couple weeks from now, so that's gonna be fun. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of topics. It's over. It's time. Just saying, but you should become a sports commentator or something. I know you got that. Well, I think I would like to do videos. Like, I think I would like to do let's plays or like video game or just media analysis or something. I think I would enjoy doing that. Or do like some kind of podcast or something. Because doing this show has been great practice for a lot of things. And I listen to a lot of funny people and comedians. Like I listen to Tim Dillon, who's a really funny comedian, and there are a few others that I like. It's just fun to do. But all right, guys, I'm done. It's 10:18.